Atlanta United still has a match to play, which takes place tomorrow on August 15th. Now, Atlanta is coming off of a 3-2 road win against the Columbus Crew no, this wasn't July 24th. Their last match was a win over the Columbus Crew. That Ezekiel Barcos tallied a brace. He scored 2 goals in the contest. Marcelino Moreno had a goal in the match as well, converted a penalty kick. He has 6 goals and 22 chances. He has created those since the past few matches, which is the most in MLS during that stretch. Actually, since July 17th. I have that. Have that correct. Yeah. So over the past month or so, he's been the creating the most chances in all of Major League Soccer during that time frame. And as I mentioned, that victory snapped a 12-match winless streak for Atlanta United. They had some draws in there, so they weren't losses technically. But the last time they won a match was on May 15th, a 1-0 home victory over Montreal. But Atlanta, you're starting to see them get more aggressive offensively over the past few matches. They created 14 chances in that victory over Columbus. Atlanta has scored 7 goals in their last 3 matches after scoring only 7 goals in the 9 matches before that. So they have, in 3 matches, they produced just as many goals in the 9 matches before that. So they are really playing well on that and converting their chances. And that included that really struggling time scoring goals, that 1-0 home shutout to New England on July 17th, which led to Gabriel Heinz's dismissal as manager. But Atlanta leads Major League Soccer in possession at 58.15% and in dribble success rate at 59.38% entering this contest. So they are playing really well. They're possessing the ball, strong dribble rate success, not turning it over too much. And Valentino's had a big impact on that. And here's Joseph Martinez elaborating on that.
I think we feel freedom and happy. That's what we have to recover because that's what we are. For a lot of time, we play the beautiful games, and the last game against Columbus, I was in the palco, and say this is amazing because I don't see that baby for a long time. So I'm proud of that, guys.
And here Joseph Martinez, and respect to Joseph for learning English and being able to converse with us in another language outside of his native Spanish language. I think that should be acknowledged in a major way. It makes it easier for us as media members to comprehend them and for you to listen to them. But also, that takes a lot of commitment to learn another language, especially as an adult. So that's a major move by him. But you hear the happiness. Well, I don't say happiness, but the mood's a lot better playing under Valentino, and you even heard him with Barco say, about how this is how they played in the past and being aggressive, getting pushing and getting offensive chances. You hear him say that in his voice, so that's been very good for Atlanta. But I got to bring up Valentino as well, the interim manager. He's going to be the interim manager for 2 more matches, but the team has played much better under him. And yes, I know it's a little bit of a blimp and it's not a full season, but I've been following. I see the Twitter and I hear people talking. And it's like, why can't he be the manager just for the rest of this season? That's a fair question to ask, and I kind of asked him. Well, we've talked about it before, but let's hear from Valentino on Pineda being named the manager of the team and his thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean the change that's coming is not going to be a big change in my opinion. I think yesterday everyone got to see the type of person that's bringing into the building, and I think that is a really positive influence on the group, and that's been the message from myself. And the conversations that Gonzalo and I have had have been unbelievable. You can see the type of person he is first off, and the coach side that I don't feel like there's going to be any doubts about that. He's a well qualified person, and the change isn't fully here yet, so it remains the same. We have one of his assistants involved, and now we push forward, and we're all together, and that's been the message that I've tried to present to the group, and that we continue on with our momentum. And then now, when people come in, they pick up with us. That's the goal. But we're the change. We're trying to make it not a change. It's just we roll with the next person, the people who come and join us.
And you just hear him being very positive about bringing on another person. And I guess the communication and I will give credit in a way as well to to Darren Neals and Carlos Bocanegra. They've been upfront with us from the very beginning because that has been brought up even during some media sessions about Valentino being a potential candidate for the full time position. They've eliminated those pretty quickly, and I'm pretty sure they've been pretty direct with Rob Valentino about that. So there's been no miscommunication on my from my side of things as far as this going on. But still, you wonder, he's done really well, and I think in the future he's going to have aspirations to be a manager in the future because he has shown that he is can take control of a team and produce a decent result or two. But here's Valentina on what he will miss about being a manager.
Nothing. I'm gonna enjoy being the one that helps prepare training sessions or whatever my task might be. But my role, and I said at the beginning, don't treat me any differently because I'm not gonna be in this that long, and I want to come from that leadership standpoint. I want to make sure that I'm always a servant to help them, and it's about the players and them because they're the ones that have to go out and be the brave ones to go and play the games, and I want to make sure that no matter title, my actions remain the same, and they can see that.
And I think yes, he said he's not going to miss anything about it. And he was saying he's going to go back to his normal position of being an assistant and contributing to the team in that way. But as I said, I think he's shown that, and I think over these next two matches, he can show himself as a potential candidate in the future for another team. We saw Stephen Glass last year do a decent job with Atlanta United as their interim manager, and then he was able to go to Scotland and become a manager there at Aberdeen. So we've seen this be a launching pad for people to be at another organization. But I think he's going to stick around maybe for the rest of this year because a lot of leagues have started already and things like that. But Valentino has done a pretty solid job. Now, Atlanta United itself facing LAFC, the teams have met three times or two times in the past. Atlanta won the home contest back in 2018 5-0. They also were able, but LAFC won the contest in Los Angeles 4-3 in 2019. They did not play last year, obviously with the adjusted schedule due to the pandemic. But they're facing each other tomorrow on August 15th. Only the second match this year against a team from the Western Conference. Once again, with the pandemic and travel, just adjustments and everything going on. And that's disappointing. I like seeing the team face Colorado and the Texas teams and Salt Lake, and obviously facing a Galaxy and Kansas City, some pretty storied franchises in Major League Soccer. Now, they did face Seattle earlier this year at Seattle, and it was a 1-1 draw on May 23rd. But this is only the second and final matchup against a team from the Western Conference, which is disappointing. But LAFC, they're coming off of a 2-1 away loss to San Jose a few nights ago on August 8th. They're 2-5-1 on the road this year and are looking for their first away win since July 7th at Austin FC. And LAFC is kind of in a similar boat with Atlanta United. We're used to seeing Bob Bradley's team be among the league leaders in goals and assists and chances created, but I think they have equal. They're only averaging about 1.5 goals per contest. I think that's even less than that. So they're not producing offensively like they have in the past. But we know at Los Angeles and Carlos Vela and that squad, they do like to be aggressive and push forward. But here is Rob Valentino on facing LAFC.
A lot. I think they're a really good team, really, really well coached. I keep hearing that they're in a bad way, but it makes me laugh. They're a good team. They're very dangerous. They're attacking three, no matter what shape they end up playing, are something to be wary of. I also think that they defend a certain way, and there's space that I think we can go and attack. There's also opportunity for us coming off, I think, a good win against Columbus, and then just coming home to our fans. I think that'll give us a real boost. So hopefully momentum's in our favor, and whether it's LAFC or whether it's a different opponent, I just take it as we're coming home with momentum and hoping for a positive result.
And you figure LAFC is going to, if they go back to their normal standards, will be very aggressive offensively and push forward. Obviously, with Vela, the not reigning MVP anymore, but former MLS MVP, and really strong player. That's going to put a lot of pressure on the defense for Atlanta United. Here is Guzan on the test of facing LAFC offensively.
You look back at some of the games as of late in terms of set pieces, in terms of just little things that ultimately lead to goals, that at this level we can't be doing. So we need to be able to be stronger in those areas. But I think ultimately it's not as if Columbus, carved us open and was playing through us, for 90 plus minutes. Yes, there are opportunities, there's chances. There's always going to be that in games. But in terms of defensively, you look at their front three players and what they bring to the game. It's important that we're aware of where those guys are at all times, because they're not so much on the defensive side of the ball. They're looking to go and transition in the attack for themselves.
And this is a really important period for Atlanta United too, because they're trying to move up the Eastern Conference standings and put themselves in playoff position. 6 of their next 7 matches will be at home. They do have to travel to DC United on August 21st, but the pressure is on to produce points and move up the standings. Here's Joseph Martinez on the team handling that pressure.
When you do this kind of job, you have pressure every day. Even in MLS, but Atlanta United always have a pressure. We can see 3 years in a row we bring a lot of players for MLS, for example. MLS star game. Now we bring one. It's because we have a bad moment. We have to recover that, because Atlanta United give a lot of moments, a lot good moments to the MLS, and we have to recover that. And then the MLS has to come here and say thank you for that. We have to keep going. Pressure, we don't care about the pressure. We have to win every day, every game. We have to fucking win. That's it.
Yeah, and that's going to conclude the show. And on that quote, that was a very straight point for Joseph Martinez. This is what Atlanta United wants, and all these moves, from bringing in Luis to having a new manager and Gonzalo Pineda. This is all about the team pushing forward and trying to put themselves back in championship form. The first 3 seasons in Major League Soccer, you won a U.S. Open Cup, an MLS Championship, and MLS Cup, in contention for the Supporters Shield, which is the best most points in the regular season. And that was under Tata Martino and under Frank de Boer. Last year was a slow start. Obviously, they did not play well in the MLS's back tournament. Lost all 3 of those contests, led to dismissal of de Boer. He brought in Stephen Glass as interim manager to finish off the season. But still, disappointment, not even a playoff appearance for Atlanta United. This year's very slow start. Gabriel Heinze not producing offensively, giving up bad goals. He was dismissed. Yeah, Valentino come in. He's the interim manager. A little bit of stability there. But now you're bringing in another manager for the full time. So there's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts for Atlanta United. And tomorrow will be a very big test of them trying to continue to get that stability and push towards a playoff spot.